Good evening. It is Monday night, September 9th. What the heck? We're already into September. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jackie Baker. This is your weekly live dose of real estate reality where we talk about all things real estate. So, that whole lawsuit thing that caused all of these changes with the buyer's commission and the seller's commission and all that fun stuff. The man who was the lead plaintiff for that lawsuit, Josh Sitzer, apparently started his own company called Landian. And the purpose of this company is to just charge consumers a flat fee to, consumers say, if you want to see a house, you pay $49 to have a real estate agent meet you and show you the house. If you want somebody to write you an offer, you want an agent to write an offer, you pay them $199. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Now, I'm going to listen, not here to bash or anything, but I just find it interesting that this guy went ahead and started this company after this lawsuit happened. So I don't know, little sus on my part. But anyway, I have a special guest tonight. I'm so excited. He is here from behind. We're bringing him back from behind the chat because you see him in the chat every week talking to you all. And I got him to come on and be face to face and talk to you all in person. So Mr. Clark, the realtor, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks
for
good.
Being here. This is
thanks
awesome.
For having me.
Oh, I'm so happy you're able to join me tonight. So I know this is kind of a sticky topic, but come on. This guy had to go and start a new startup company to help buyers, save money. So I want to talk about, there was an article about it, and I actually have the website. We're going to go through it, Clark. We're going to talk about it. And yeah, so I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on that. So yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts, so hopefully no one gets mad.
I know you do. How have you been? How's life in Atlanta? Just really quick. Just want to check in.
Yeah, I've been good. Like I was stating to you a little earlier that I currently have a listing on the market in Marietta, Georgia, but also things are kind of cooling down as far as real estate.
Yeah.
People are bringing prices down on their homes, of course.
Yep.
And then some people are waiting on the sidelines because they know that the interest rates are going to soften a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, people are also trying to see what the election might bring as well. So we'll see what happens. But I've been okay. I can't complain. So.
All right, good. Well, I'm so glad you're here. So let's first talk about, I just want to share the article so everybody can learn about what's going on and what this Landian is all about. I just want to, oh my gosh, how do we do this again? There we go. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So key player in SUBSCIRBE launches real estate startup. Our hard-won settlement paved the way for a new era, says Josh Sitzer, whose company offers flat-fee home tour and offer preparation services for buyers. Yeah, less than a year after claiming victory in a landmark commissions trial, one of the plaintiffs in the case is again taking action, but this time as an entrepreneur. As reported by TechCrunch on August 29th, Josh Sitzer, a Missouri home seller who in 2019 filed a class action lawsuit against NAR and major brokerage companies that became known as SUBSCIRBE, had partnered with Bryce Gallen and Neil Batra to launch Landian, a company that offers flat fee real estate services on demand. Agent services, but no commissions. The goal of the venture, according to TechCrunch, was to take advantage of the new landscape following NAR's settlement and offer buyers a different way to work with agents. While hiring agents is a choice for many, I don't believe anyone should be bullied into paying for undesired services due to unfair industry practices. Yeah, Mr. Sitzer, I got a problem with that statement, but we'll come back to that. According to the Landian website, which is currently in beta mode, potential customers can paste in listing links and choose the flat fee options they need. A home tour is priced at $49, for example, while offer preparation comes in at $199. Buyers can also opt for a more comprehensive agent package for $17.99. On Landian's homepage, Sitzer states that our hard-won settlement paved the way for a new era of fairness and transparency, and the company's flat fee approach is liberating home buyers from the excessive commissions they were previously forced to pay. The company says it offers services in the US and Canada and bills itself as a platform that schedules and coordinates service contracts, but it's not a brokerage. That's key. They're not a brokerage, so they're not licensed. Okay. And then this just goes into about the whole case. So, all right. The term bullying, like, are you kidding me? You're being bullied into pay commission? Okay.
I'm like, no one was ever bullied into paying any commissions. Commissions were always negotiable.
They were always negotiable. Nobody twisted this guy's arm and threatened him or whatever to make him sign that listing agreement with his agent. So that's what I have to say about that.
And like I said, when I initially read this lawsuit back in, because it kind of surfaced in 2019, and I read the lawsuit, Joshua Sitzer, from what I read, he's paid the listing broker the 6%. However, when they went to do the percentage to the buyer's brokerage, they only gave 2% to the buyer. So they keep saying that they're forced to pay 3% to the buyer, 3% to the buyer. And a couple other cases inside, even the Burnett case, there were people whose listing agent took 6%, but then they only paid the buyer's agent 2.7%. So again, you just worked with, unfortunately, not the best agent at the time, and you could have actually shopped around, interviewed other agents, and kind of compared their commission prices.
Yeah.
You know.
But now, I don't know if I'm sure you do this. When I'm presenting to a client, a potential client, they're going to sell their house, I spell out how that commission is split. So you mean to tell me he wasn't aware that his agent was taking 4% and the other paying out the 2% to the other side? Like yeah. Unless he had a really shady agent who just didn't do the homework, didn't do all the right things by him. I can understand that. I can understand that frustration, but you signed the listing agreement. You signed that. So I just don't appreciate, look, he can do it. Look, it's a free country. You do whatever the heck you want. You know, you want to start up a company to capitalize on this. Look, have at it, go for it. But to be putting terms out there saying that we're being bullied or they're being bullied, they're being forced. Nobody forced you to do any of that, to sign that agreement. You could have said, you know what? I'm going to go to a discount broker and they're out there. You know what? I'm going to go FSBO. I'm going to sell this on Zillow on my own. Right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that like you said, do FSBO, the for sale by owners, or they'll go to Open Door, or they'll go to OfferPad, or all these other websites in order to get a discount brokerage or even a transactional brokerage.
Exactly.
So no one's forcing you. And
no, they're not. Let me hold on a second. I'm gonna pull up the website. Let's take a look at this.
Okay.
All right. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Here's the website. Okay. So this is Landy, and this is their beta site, still in beta mode or whatever. So what you do here is to tour or make an offer. You import the listing. So what I did before is I went into Zillow. I pulled up a listing that's for sale in my market. So let's put this in here. All right, can you see what I'm doing? Can you see okay. And of course I didn't get the whole thing. Oh my goodness. Hold on. And say, and then we're going to go over here. Okay. Now we hit go. And now it's going to take that. It's going to process it. And it's really interesting, Clark. Wait till you see what it does. Like do you see this? It pulls up the Google picture.
Yeah.
Right. And like I think it pulls the first picture off the listing.
Okay.
And what's funny is the description, it looks like it's AI. It looks like it took what the description was on Zillow and it rewrote it. It's very weird. And it says here, low annual tax amount of just $1. Really? There's no. Like,
I hope people
hello.
don't look at that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, people are going to be all over that one, right? But hello, AI much? That's totally AI.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so this is what you do, and then you click schedule tour, and then you can register. Now, I did register for this earlier, but for some reason it's not pulling. I can't pull my account back up. But
Okay.
let's look at so they have a little YouTube channel, YouTube video.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not going to play that
Because
right
I
now.
feel like I saw on the website they said too that they do a virtual tour. So was that considered the virtual tour? That little Google pull out that was on when you pulled the
Oh,
listing.
I don't know. I don't know. Or it's virtual where the agent walks through and shows the
Mm,
shows the home that way.
okay.
But yeah, so you see down here is telling you how much will you save. So this is how
Mhm.
they calculate this. So you have traditional 3%. Okay. You like to think that. So it's a $500,000 house. The buyer's paying $15,000 home. It says 3%, right? Now you
Mhm.
go over to the Landian. Price per tour, $49, and then price per offer, $199. So they took 5 tours, made 2 offers. They're paying $643. So you see what they're doing here? They're showing the savings
Showing
of
the
you
difference.
saved $14,357. Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, if they came to Georgia, see, in Georgia, when it comes to the buyer side, we've always had it after a certain lawsuit happened several years ago. They put it's called Breda, which is down here. They kind of structured it where we could go as low as, at the time, $1 in the commission as far as when it came to listing stuff in the MLS. Of course, now
Really?
is zero now because we can't put it there at all. However, we were able to do as low as $1. So we actually had flat fees inside the MLS. So some agents would put a flat fee of $5,000, maybe 1,000, all the way
Okay.
to $1, and then you'll see 1% commissions, 1.9%,
Okay.
2%, 2 point. So it was always all over the place. So I think down here in Georgia, it's kind of easier for the agents to adapt to this new change and these new rules because we were already seeing it so many years ago due to the that particular law kind of coming in place.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. We have a company like that in my market. The name of it's escaping me right now, but you pay like a flat fee. If you're going to sell your house, you pay like a flat fee to list it on MLS,
Mhm.
right? It's like a few $100, $500, but then you're paying out whatever 2% to the buyer agent. But on the list side, the issue with it is that the homeowner is responsible for I think taking no, that includes the pictures. Sorry. This company will take the pictures for you, put it on an MLS, but then you have to schedule all the tours. The homeowner has to manage all the home tours.
Okay.
Yeah. They can even do their own open house. But
Mm.
that agent who's running that in that company, they're not really involved at all. They're
Mm.
just, they get paid the flat fee and then the commission is paid out to the buyer. So,
Mm.
but this is, you know, they have an option, and I'm trying to find it because it won't let me do it without or see it without signing in. But they also have a fee of $17.99, right?
Mhm.
So did they talk about that in this? Yeah, you can get a comprehensive package of $17.99. So from what I understood when I was reading this earlier, that if you still have to pay the $49 to see the house each time, for each house you want to see. But if you have this comprehensive fee, this $17.99 that you pay at closing, you get refunded back all the fees that the showing fees and the contract writing fees. So, I
Mm.
mean,
So I
look,
guess my thing is how does so again, this is a business in which they structured, and at the end of the day, a business has a bottom line that they have to profit from. So
yeah,
how does this business become profitable? Because they that's what they want to ultimately
right,
do, right?
right,
If you're refunding fees, and then
right.
how does the agent make their fee if I'm scheduling the tours, it's $49 per tour, but then at the end of the day, you give me the money, but then you also give them a reimbursement of how much the money you gave to me. So how are you making any profit?
That's what I would like to know. How do you make money on this? I don't get it. Um, Hold on one second. So I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be. I don't know how successful he's going to be with this. And I'm not just saying that because I'm annoyed that this guy did this. The reality is, it's like, okay, you're going to pay you $50 to see a house, and then 199 to write the offer. So I'm assuming then that buyer, if they don't do that comprehensive agent package, that buyer is going to be negotiating on their own behalf. So
And they
that's
have
what I
something,
think. It's
and they
weird.
have something similar like that even down in Georgia. We call it a retainer fee. Like we have agents down here already that charge retainer fees. They kind of do it more when it comes to you doing like rentals, but they have been doing it even with showing properties to people.
Really?
I don't do it on the purchase side, but I do it on the renting side. And the only reason why is because our rents down here are very like flat fee and small percentages. So say it's not compared to up north where you kind of get the first month rent or half of the first month rent. We
Yeah.
kind of down here, they'll give you like 10% of the first month rent. So if you don't charge like a retainer fee, you basically, once you have the split with your brokerage, you'll take home. I've taken home a lot of checks of $130 because we don't get paid a lot down here with rentals. So
Right.
so
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's the same thing up here too. We don't get no, but yeah, the rentals are tough.
Mhm.
They're tough. And, people are like, how come I can't get an agent to show me a rental? It's like, well, it's a lot of work. And, I don't want to sound greedy, but,
Yeah.
anyway, so,
Yeah.
let me
But it,
see. All right, good. Comments are rolling in. Okay, Heather. Hey, Heather. Thanks for being here. Marble Law has a business that sounds like that, a la carte. I've never heard of Marble Law.
yeah, me either.
You know what? Let me look at that up really
Mm,
quick. Let's see what
yeah.
see what we got there. That's really Marble. Oh, it's a law firm. Okay,
Okay.
that's what that is. Hold on, I will share this tab instead. Okay, can we see that Marble?
Mhm.
All right,
Mhm.
that's what that is. So it's a law firm.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the other thing he said, that is like the transparency, right? He's, they're claiming, no, you can have transparency and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, this lawsuit took away transparency, right?
Mhm.
We can't show anymore what the
Commission is.
buyer agent commission is anymore. You
Mhm.
have to call the agent to find that out.
Mhm.
So it's like, don't tell me it's more transparent. You took that away.
Yeah. And with the
Okay.
whole and with the a la carte that, like I said, the $49 and the 199, my thing is that whose contracts are you using? Are you using the realtors contracts because you're not a law firm? So who is logistically writing these contracts up?
So there's a section for agents. They're looking for real estate agents to sign up for this.
Okay. So we're using
And
our
and
own
we're gonna be
MLS
they're
contracts, our
yeah,
forms.
we're the ones writing the contract. So
Okay.
depending on what state you're in, right?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. Like what agent is gonna sign up for that? I 50 bucks to show a house,
For
and
sure.
then 199 to write oh my God.
So that means too, then typically most home buyers, when they go through this ordeal of buying a house, they have not only the contract, the purchase and sale agreement being put in by the buyer's agent, but then they have the dates laid out as far as due diligence, earnest money deposit, all that stuff. So the agent now is just basically giving you the basic contract, and they're like, okay, well, now you need to know when to put your earnest money down. You need to know when your due diligence is. You need to know that if you fall out of due diligence and you go further outside of the finance contingency gap, appraisal gap, and you get to the end and you decide you want to back out of the deal, your earnest money is no longer available. So it's going to put these buyers in a situation, particularly first-time home buyers that might not know how to go through a home, transaction,
Mm-hmm.
that they might lose several thousands of dollars when it comes to purchasing a house because of these timelines that we always kind of put in place for our clients.
Right.
Well, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, are they gonna be the ones who, are they gonna be able to manage it, the
Mhm.
clients? I mean, are the actual buyers, you know, they don't keep track of that. They're relying on their attorneys or their real estate agents to remind them of what those deadlines are, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, so Clark, what are your thoughts on this with this guy starting this business? I mean, I said before, like my mind goes here. It's like, was the whole purpose of this lawsuit to have him start this company up, you know?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it when I heard this. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. wait a minute. It's just like so convenient that he starts this how many months after they settled? You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's so bizarre.
I thought it was very ironic as well for you to go and talk about you're suing because of the money, and then you're coming over here and you're trying to charge people. You're like, well, because of the new rules, now you have to do this, and now we're going to start a company to profit off of the new rules. So it's
Yeah.
like you're trying to make it cheaper, but now it's still cheaper in the way in which they're going, but you're still charging people for, you know, the whole process. And on the website, it said that I found very funny in the FAQs, it stated how indirectly the buyer pays for the commission or compensation, pays for the compensation between both of the transactions, because we know if the seller can list their property, but if you don't have a buyer, no one is getting paid in any of the transaction, because someone needs to buy the property in order for payment to go to the seller, and also for commission to then come out of that seller's payment and get split between both brokerages. So they kind
Right.
of restated that in FAQs, but in the lawsuit they were like, "Oh, we don't want to pay the buyers," but now you're indirectly stating that on your website. So I'm so confused as to how, like, the
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Jen says, wouldn't the $50 viewing fee encourage unscrupulous agents to bring people to homes that aren't good matches? This way they schedule a bunch of duds at $50 a pop. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. And you're wasting the seller's time.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Yep. Jen, that's an excellent point. Yep.
Yeah, that is
Wasting a
true.
lot of time. And let me tell you, when you're a seller, you don't want people wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
I hated that. Like if somebody would call me up and say, I just want to go take a look at this house. I'm like, are you interested in buying it? No, I just want to see how they have it decorated. Go to an open house. I'm very like mindful of that. You know,
Mhm.
I don't want to interrupt as a homeowner's day to
Yeah,
straighten up the house and bringing in a showing, you know, bring somebody in to see it that's just wants to see how it's decorated. So
that's true.
MGF, hey Jackie, love your channel, you're a real estate diva. I don't know about that, but thank you. Thank you so much. MHOA, do we get $1.50 hot dogs? You know what? Maybe Mr. Sitzer should offer that. Or maybe free hot dogs. I don't know. The whole thing just doesn't make
Like,
sense to
yeah,
me.
I'm like, I saw on the website too that it said that in regards to if you are a buyer and you're trying to go directly to the listing agent,
Yep.
you can't do that because they'll try to pressure you into like a 3% buyer, and you have to sign an agreement with the listing agent. I said, well, I thought that as long as if the listing agent is over that property and you go directly to listing agent, we don't have to sign a buyer agreement. Well, first of all, we're not signing a buyer brokerage agreement with you anyway because you're not our client, you're a customer. It's similar to like if you went into a new construction. If you go there, they're not forcing you right away to sign a buyer customer
Right.
then the tour of the house, because they're the client. Their client is the builder and they're over this new construction, just like the listing agent will be their client is the seller. So if you're coming directly to me, I can just open the door without having you sign anything. I don't know why wouldn't I open the door.
Right. But my manager explained it to me. Now, if somebody's unrepresented
Mm-hmm.
and they come and I'm the listing agent and they come to me and say, hey, I want to make an offer on this house. Will you represent me? They still have to sign a buyer agreement
Yeah,
with me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and if it's because I think people were thinking that, you know, oh, I'm going to save money going to the listing agent. No. And if the seller's still offering 0% to the buyer agent, if the person's coming to me as a listing agent, I want you to represent me. It was like, okay, we're going to sign a buyer's agreement, but you're still going to have to pay a fee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's still going to happen. But, oh, David Matney. David, where have you been? How are you, my friend? Hey, Jackie, look at the opportunity cost. You spend time showing a home for $49 instead of closing another deal worth thousands. Also, the client's spending will still expect top tier customer service. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're darn right, David.
Yep.
Hi, Patty. Thanks for being here. Is there any way overturning this in the courts? Somebody's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying this. There's going to be more lawsuits coming out from this because the buyers are then going to be outraged and they're going to feel like they're not being fairly represented, which is why we had that's how it was done years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they started the whole having real estate agents represent buyers. And that's how this whole thing came to be, where the seller was was paying for the buyer agent. And the whole theory is that the buyer is technically paying that commission because it's in the price. So now we're back to the buyer's not going to get full representation. And we're back to square one. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes, there's going to be more lawsuits out of this. Greg Scanlon, thanks for being here. So the real question is, how long before the rules change again? Exactly. So I tell people, and Clark, I'm sure you're telling your clients and people, just bear with all of us during this, because this is going to be one big rocky road nightmare for at least the next year as we navigate this. And I agree. I think rules are going to change again. Things are going to come out and they're just going to, it's going to get ugly. Emilio81 says, the housing market doesn't make sense. Why is a house that's 5 years ago sold for $190,000 is now for sale at $399? Because of the lack of inventory. That's why there's not enough homes, too much demand, and the demand is what drove the prices up. That's our story. Out of the $49, how much does a company keep? That's a great question.
That's what I was asking earlier. Like because it's a business, it has to profit. So how much are they? How are they going to make?
How are they making money? Yeah. How are they making money on this? I don't know. I'm gonna follow this for a while because I'm curious to see how it works out. MH08 says, I'll just sell to an investor. You can do that. Do whatever you want. John P says, new to the channel, wanted to ask 54 from New Jersey, looking to buy a home in a year and considering 2 counties, Mercer and Bergen. Do I need to sign a contract with 2 local realtors? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So whoever you find in Bergen and in Mercer, because Mercer is quite a distance from up here in Bergen County. So yeah, you would have to sign an agreement with both agents, unless the one agent was willing to drive. If the Bergen agent's willing to drive a couple hours to Mercer and vice versa. But I would stick with the local agent in that market. If you find somebody in Mercer that knows the market, stick with them. So how has this been working with you so far with the NAR rules since August 17th with all the changes? Are you finding people are you hearing from your clients, from your buyers, or are people freaking out over this?
So I haven't heard it yet. So the good thing about me, when I kind of jumped into real estate, I've never told anyone that my services were free. So it's been very easy for me to navigate this as far as sitting down, having a good conversation. And I also used to be an educator. So I like to educate people about the whole process. So I just sit down and have a conversation just to let them know how this whole thing kind of pans out. And so it hasn't been any pushback from the clients I've been working with. Of course, we have adjusted commissions here and there because, again, it's negotiable. And if they're not wanting to pay a certain amount, I say, I'm able to go here with my commission, because us as agents, we make our own compensation price, right? So I say, I'm able to go here with it. I don't want to go too low. And the reason why I tell them, the reason why I don't want to go too low is because I've had clients that I worked with for a whole year. And if I work with you for a whole year, because we don't know what house that you might pick, or because a lot of them want certain mortgage price ranges and this, so it kind of has us all over the place. But I just tell them, I do a year. Sometimes it can be a year, and because of that, I'll set the commission fee at this amount. Just because, think about it, if I work with you a whole year, and let's just say the commission is $3,000. I break it down per day. So every day, the $3,000 for 12 months in a year, break it down per day, I'm getting less than minimum wage to help you in your transaction of buying a house. And I love you dearly, and I want to work with everybody and educate them properly. But I also have to make sure I take care of my bills as well, just like everyone else takes care of theirs. So
it's so true. Yeah. Oh, there's my friend, Jen Sylvester. How are you? So glad you're back from Texas. Buyers will think they're getting representation for $50 when all they're really getting is an introduction to the seller, which the buyer can do for free. Exactly. Excellent point, Jen. You're so right. You're so right. Yeah, this is a little misleading, this new service. MH says, just start walking up to homes with for sale signs out in front, banging a door, asking for a tour. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't think
You could
that's
just
gonna
go
happen.
to open houses, like Jen said. Just go to open
You
houses.
go to open houses.
That's all.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. Buyers don't need you, and you refuse to actually offer services that are something they would want. You are what? You were a coaster for decades on doing almost nothing and getting a percentage of the entire price. Okay, totally disagree with you there. But listen, everybody has their opinion. And look, we don't get the best we don't get the best rap, right? Everybody thinks
Yeah.
that we're just, we do nothing.
Mhm.
But as an educator, it's not easy to afford a starter house. And with 20 years experience, top of the salary guide, multi degrees and advanced standing, let's say the salary doesn't keep up with the prices. That is the biggest problem,
Mhm.
right? Now it's the affordability crisis that has gone on the past few
Mhm.
years. It's all because the wages cannot keep up with it. And that worries the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people are going to ever afford a home.
Yeah.
It's really unfair.
That's one
But
thing.
I want to get back to that prior comment where he's saying, buyers don't need us, whatever. Clark, tell everybody what you just did. You just told me what you did for your client. You're selling their home.
Yes. I'm selling their home, so I did digital marketing on it. I email blast over 500 agents personally myself. So I actually emailed them to their email addresses personally. I did a reverse prospecting on our MLS to find agents whose clients were looking in that area and put up about 477 agents. I personally emailed all the agents, was able to get 4 of them out of that list to come and show their client that property. I door knocked the neighborhood. I went to networking events to pass out flyers about it. I actually went to personal brokerages to pass out flyers about it. Yeah, I've done a lot, and so
Exactly.
and I even on the day that they had the photography scheduled for the house, I went into the house. They were cleaning up. I cleaned their house for them as well. Vacuumed the carpet, swept the floors, cleaned the countertops, made sure it was ready for pictures to be taken. And then on the day of the open house, of course, you go and you clean again because people have toured the house. You want to make sure it's presentable. So it's a lot that we do as realtors. And I feel like the misconception comes in when people have a bad experience with one particular person and then they blow it on everybody. So
Yep. Yep. It's people don't understand. I can't tell you how many homes, where I was the listing agent and like my clients had already moved out and they'd left stuff in the garage and they had garbage. And I'm like hauling stuff out to the curb before the closing. I've done that several times, especially when the property's vacant. Like I'm in there just same thing, cleaning, getting stuff out. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of time,
yeah.
right? It does take a lot of our time. Hey, Therese, thanks for being here. Yes, we were having a lovely evening. Yes, isn't it wonderful to have Clark the Realtor as a guest? Like
Hey
in,
Therese, how
in the
you doing?
flesh, in the flesh. Yes. Hi, Bob. I'm so glad you're here, Bob. Bob's been a regular for like years. I love that. So yeah, getting back to that, we do a lot. And like what Jen said before, like if you I think it was Jen, yeah, the getting introduction to seller. So yeah, $50, they're opening the door. They're not going to really help you with anything, right? They're not going to really maybe answer a couple questions about the house and the area, maybe, but you're not getting that full
Yeah,
service.
you're not getting
And
it.
and man, we do
We do a lot.
I'm sorry, we work hard. Like I said last week, I was on vacation. I was on the
Yeah,
phone
and you
every
deserve it though.
but I still worked.
Yeah.
I've worked every vacation since I've been in the business. It's just look, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining,
Yeah.
but this is just how our lives are. This is our job. So,
Exactly. Like
yep. Hey,
even on the
Kate.
buyer side. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. Kate says hello,
Hey, Kate, how you doing?
and Bob says hi to you too, Clark.
Oh, how you doing,
Um,
Bob?
so yeah, we look, I could sit here and talk to them blue in the face to justify our jobs and what we do. But look, unless you're in it, I mean, I don't think people truly understand. And when I get these comments, random comments a lot on my channel, and wait till everybody sees the video I'm dropping tomorrow, because I'm gonna get a lot of I'm gonna stir a pot because I talk about like shady tactics that real estate agents do. So, and I did a video about that. Like, look, if you're going to be hiring an agent now, there's some things you need to be on the lookout for and be aware of. And it happens.
It
So,
happens. Like I tell people, this field is not regulated. So you're going to have people doing a lot of shady things. You know, so
yep.
I was in, you know, when was taking my license in real estate class, it was a young man in there that kept always questioning the teacher in regards to different practices. And she was like, that's unlawful. So she was like, you're going to be one of those realtors that's going to be a problem, because they kept, you know, wanting to do type of shady things in real estate.
Oh yeah. And they try to get away with it. Southern Yankee says sellers agents earn a percentage. I just don't think buyers agents do enough to get $20,000. Well, look, here's the thing. When you're a buyer agent, you're driving all over the place, showing people homes. I have driven as far as an hour to go show homes to clients, right? And I know I have friends in my office that are traveling down to the Jersey Shore, which is like 2 hours plus to go show homes. Like, I wouldn't go that far. It's too far for me. But the point is, you think we're just submitting an offer and that's it. Listen, I find it harder to work with buyers, especially first-time buyers. Love them, but they're brand new to this process, and we have to carry them, right, Clark? We have to carry them through this whole thing because they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to look for. They don't understand it. So to me, a buyer's agent, it's a lot more work than being the listing agent. You know, each presents their own things, right? Their own issues, whatever. But being on the buy side, I find it's very rewarding, but it's mentally draining. It's emotionally draining. It's physically draining because you're driving all over the place. I mean, I put tens of thousands of miles in my car each year, driving people around to look at houses. So anyway, Heather says, I'm wondering if they offer a la carte services after the $49, meaning we pay extra for other services. Yes. So they said there's a package where you can pay $17.99 at closing for a more comprehensive package. But what are you getting with that for $17.99? And like you said, Clark, so then is Landian taking a piece of that after the closing? Is that how they're making their money? Like something's not right. Yeah.
They have to make money. It's a company.
I know. Kate says, for a future home purchase next year, is a credit union the best bet for a mortgage? If yes, how far in advance do you need to be a client for that credit union? I know they tend to have better rates. I don't know the deal, like how far you have to be a client. Do you know, Clark?
So I don't know either. I know typically most people go to credit unions because with it being local, like you say, they usually have better rates.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how far in advance you need to be a client.
Sorry, Kate, I don't know that one. Sorry. Mimo, thanks for being here. I agree. From my neighbor, after I closed on my home, let me know that the seller's agent was cutting grass and even cut hers to make sure the appearance of the homes was good. That's a kick-ass agent right there. You're gonna go next door and mow the neighbor's lawn? There you go. He cleared the yard trimming in the back and tell you straighten up before we always came in for a viewing. I love it. But you see, this is what we do. Gregory Scanlon, as in any business, a good buyer's agent is worth gold and a bad agent is worth dirt. Information is very important, and a good agent has the information necessary to make the process go smoothly. Thank you, Gregory, for pointing that out. It is so true.
Because I had a buyer's client that when we were going through the process just recently, he asked me to he was like, can you tell me what neighborhoods in the community are rental properties and which one are owned? And so I went into the tax records and I literally pulled up the entire neighborhood and I went through every property because, you know, we can see it. And I saw the LLCs and everything. So I circled all the like the investor owned properties in black. And then I circled all the owners that actually own their properties in green. Then I put a star next to where their property was at. So they can see how many houses in the community were investor owned, how many were, you know, owned by actual owners in their house. And I was like, is this okay? If you're not comfortable with this, we can move on to another property. He was like, no, I just wanted to know. He was like, this is great. And I just text them yesterday, say like, how's it going? Or they're like, oh, we love it. We love the neighborhood. So, we kind of go above and beyond. Just I always tell people, just ask. And if you have a great agent, the agent will do it for you. Just ask.
You're darn right. You're darn right. Living our lives. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Larky, buyer's agent work for at least 50% more harder than listing agents. Thank you very much. Yes, we do. We do. And listen, I'm not knocking listings either. Like I've had my share of listings. Buyers just, and people are like, you love working with buyers. I do. Ever since I got into the business, I don't know. I just find it so rewarding. I love working with them. Don't forget it. The years of education and hundreds of transactions to help the client avoid the pain when things go south. Thank you, David. That's so true. Yes. Hello, Donna. Thanks for being here. Getting a great seller's agent valued us money, saved us money, plus anxiety. Their impact on us was priceless. Thanks for bringing it up, Donna. Yes. Because it was so funny. My clients, I'm selling their house. We're under contract. They said to me the other day, they're like, we didn't know that therapist was part of your job description because I love them. I love them. We've been on the phone. There's it's emotional. It's so emotional for both sides. Right. And for the sellers, I look at it from the perspective, like they've lived in this house for 20 plus years. They raised their kids there. It's emotional. And, and I even prepared them. It's like, look, when the inspection, after the home inspection, when that repairs request list comes through, don't get upset. Don't get angry. It's, you can get your back up when you see that letter come from the attorney. Just don't let it get to you. Just trust me on this one. And they were fine. And they appreciated that I prepared them for that. Because I've seen it so many times where the seller, look, I did it myself. I mean, I sold the house recently in one of our investment properties. I'm like, what do you mean there's moisture in the bathroom? Get the heck out of here. And then I took a step back. I'm like, okay, you know what? Calm down. Just come on. But all right. We have No Name Pyro. I watched a few of your videos and just realized you're very close to where I'm at. I've been looking in Jersey for but I might just buy in PA, like Milford area, a little cheaper, and taxes way cheaper. Yeah, I recommend Pennsylvania if you want to get out of the Jersey taxes, man. They're ridiculous. Mimo says, I didn't like my process. Driving all around, wasting gas, seeing properties. I wouldn't even blink, realizing on my own the houses were marked too high. Yeah. Until I found that this the one. Yep. Okay. Hello, Tanya. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I love my regulars. You guys are amazing. David says it's kind of like YouTube. It might be simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It takes a great deal of skill and knowledge. Thank you, David. Thank you. Yes, it's so true. My agents were an older husband and wife team, and I loved being with them. They were beyond knowledgeable and patient with me. He showed me the homes, and I'm assuming she did all the legwork, but yeah. See, that's the thing too. We form relationships too. Oh, she did all the behind the scenes work, and I could call and text them all night, and they did it when they find something. My lender was even great. I would refer his team and use them again with these new rules. Thank you for saying that. That's the thing, right? This is the value we provide, right? That it's seeing comments like that makes me happy. It's like, okay, we are good, Yeah.
I'm like, we do matter.
We do. This is a good question, Clark. Would you rather be a real estate agent or a middle school teacher? Real estate agent, hands down.
Yeah, I'm like, I've done my years in the school system as an educator, and it's harder to teach, especially middle school children, because they're going through like the hormones and they're trying to find their way in life. So I would, real estate is hard too, but at least I can have some relief in between.
Exactly. Yeah. You get a break in between, you have one deal closed, like, okay, good. Then you move on to the next one. And
exactly.
Yeah, Dallas says, it is emotional, Jackie. As a first-time buyer, I told my agent I felt a bit abandoned by her and she got offended. Oh, that's not right. Wow. That's not right at all. I'm sorry you had that experience. That shouldn't be. My agents were an older. We did this one already, Jen. Sorry. Hold on. You're fine. No need to apologize. We got one on the bottom there, Jen. There we go. Joe, thanks for being here. Just wondering, do buyers agents deal with FSBOs? By the way, gasoline is more expensive in Pennsylvania. Yes, it is. That is one thing Jersey has going for us. We have cheap gas. Do buyer agents deal with FSBOs? Yes, we do. We do. But I think I talked about this last week. We do ask them, like before I even bring a client in, I have to ask them, are you offering compensation? A lot of them will have done that. They'll offer to pay like even 2%, maybe less, whatever. My client needs a house. They want to see the house. I'm going to show it to them. So yes, we do. Buyer's agents will do that.
And that's what they were like saying in that Burnett and Sitzer case, like with the whole price fixing of the commission. It also was causing agents to stare their clients to higher, compensation percentages. And then they felt like too, that it wasn't allowing new competition to kind of enter the market when it came to real estate, like newer brokerages and newer ideas and different ways to kind of do real estate. But I'm like, we had so many different people like Zillow, Redfin, all these people enter the market and still, are in the market. So
yep. Yeah, no, it's true. But talking about the whole steering thing, I mean, listen, that did happen. That did happen. If an agent saw that, hey, this guy's offering 3%, this house is offering 2%, I'm going to show the house that's offering 3%. It happened. It happened. Now I understand that's why they took the compensation off of MLS. But again, for the sake of the whole transparency thing that Josh Sitzer is saying, we need full transparency. That was dumb, taking that away. But anyway, that's me. Donna says, so many of us are outside your New Jersey scope. I keep thinking we need to find an Ohio Jackie Baker. Do you vet agents outside your territory? And so can you point us to strong agents? I sure can, Donna. I sure can. I have a network of real estate agents that I can access, and I can get you connected with anybody. So yeah, I hope there's an Ohio Jackie Baker out there. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they are. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think, Clark, do you think this thing's going to survive, this company? The old
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, there's been several other companies that entered into the real estate market that are still thriving. There have been ways in which they tried to navigate through it, like Zillow purchasing homes and Open Door and all these people, utilizing those methods. And some of them had to close the shop, like Zillow folded with their purchasing, Redfin folded with their purchasing homes, just went back in traditional, helping people buy homes and sell homes. So I know it definitely will be a space in the market because there are going to be people who feel like I want to travel this road. Is less expensive and affordable for me. However, I just don't want anyone to not have a great experience and kind of get, I don't want to say duped, but kind of not get, kind of lose their money, like lose money or feel like they didn't get a good deal and different things just because they might not have gotten the whole scope as far as when it came to the transaction. So that's just what I'm wondering about.
Yep. Oh, wow. A live one. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Anyway, Jane says, I had a four offer on my house in Long Island in 1 week, but my agent said a lot of buyers are backing out of offers and houses sitting longer, change is happening. I'm in contract now. Good for you. Congrats. Yes.
Congrats.
Change is happening. The market, depending on where you are, but like you said, your market, you're seeing it slow down. I'm seeing it slow down a little bit, because we are into the fall market. And I also think, and I think you said this earlier, I think people are sitting out waiting for the Fed to make that announcement on the interest rates, and we'll see if the rates come back down. But be ready, get ready for this, because if the rates come back down, we know what happens. So you're going to have more competition again. Hopefully it won't be as insane as far as, the offers that the people are willing to spend. I think that's going to slow down. But here's a quick story. So in my local market here, there were two houses well, one that just closed was listed at 1.15, right? 1,150,000. It sold for 1.3. And there's a couple of other homes that I've heard in around that price range that went for about 200,000 over asking.
Wow.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
Wow. Do you know what terms did they pay cash, conventional?
One was cash.
Okay, wow.
Yep. And
Okay.
then the other was a loan. I know. Where are you coming from? I don't get it. Where
Exactly.
are you getting that money? My goodness.
Wow.
Sir Alpha, greetings. Hello. Thanks for being here. I'm sitting out until prices return to a reasonable and affordable level. The last 4 years have seen a rapid increase in price, which is unrealistic. I hear you, but don't bank on the prices to go back down to like pre-pandemic levels unless we have like a major recession, housing crash, all the things, because now that they're up there, they're elevated. We will see a bit of a correction, but we won't see anything go back to pre-pandemic.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people, because they've been like, I'm sitting out waiting for it to go back down. And unfortunately, like you said, we have an affordability housing crisis right now.
I know.
Right?
I know.
But I'm telling people, I equate it, and some people are like, well, you can't equate it this way. I always say, okay, when I was growing up in the 90s and when my dad was growing up in the 50s, gas was like 50 cent or 20 cent or whatever. And then when I was growing up, gas was like 90 cent. And now people growing up in the 2024 or 2020 era, gas is like $3 or $4 or wherever, depending on where you're at. And so it slides a little bit, but it doesn't go back down to where it was before. And that's kind of how it moves. So it's like it'll slide down a little bit, some prices, but they're never going to go all the way back down to where they were, unfortunately.
I know.
Prior. So
I know. Emilio can't afford the current levels. I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't. It's very frustrating, but let's see what happens when the rates come back down, if it's going to generate that kind of activity again, where you're getting multiple offers to the 100,000 over asking. I can't see that happening. I can't. I just can't. People have had it. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I tell people, if you want to go to new construction route, because I know some people are like, let's do new construction, I'll wait. And I'm saying, well, right now they're getting a lot of incentives, but if the market heats back up, those incentives might be taken away. Though, especially down in Georgia, typically when they build houses down here, they don't build the basement out. The basement, they'll have the basement framed out, but they don't build it out. But now some of these new constructions, as an incentive, they're finishing the basements. So it's like that might be gone once the market kind of turns around. So
that's right. So buyer beware. Jennifer says, what is your projected market for tri-state area through year end? So I'm not like an expert, but what I can tell you from other experts that I follow, especially this guy here in New Jersey, he has a valuation company, and his prediction was by the end of this year, going to 2025 for New Jersey, that the New York City migration is really, it's slowing down. We're not getting as many people from the city. This guy, Jeffrey Otto, feels that the price appreciations are going to resume back to what they were pre-pandemic, like, prices appreciating 4 or 5% a year. That's for New Jersey. I would assume New York, Connecticut would be the same, because Connecticut and upstate New York saw that New York City migration as well. But I think it's slowing down. So do I think, I don't know. This is what I know for New Jersey from what this one person has saying that, and I trust the guy. He's been pretty much spot on with his analysis in future predictions. So, but I think a lot of people are going to be upside down and may walk away. I don't know. I hope not, but one never knows. One never knows. Question: could Landian be just a giant lead generator? Are they selling leads? That's a really good point.
Yeah,
like what Zillow does.
Yeah, but that's what I told people. I said, if we really want to be technical, if the MLS no longer gave Zillow access to our data, then there would be no Zillow or no Landia and all these things, because they're pulling data in which us as realtors are placing into our system, which is the MLS. If they cut that off, then no one would have access, the general public. Because even with Landia, they're like, well, nowadays you can go as a buyer and click on and find your own houses. You don't need a realtor. But if the MLS has decided like, okay, we're not going to give this data no more to Zillow or all these third party platforms,
Right.
then you would have to use a realtor, because you're getting our data, and in turn, Zillow is then selling our data back to us as leads. That's what they're doing.
I know. So I know that's interesting. I wonder, well, right now, as I showed on the website before, you have to manually put in the address on Landian. So I wonder if eventually down the road they're going to be pulling from MLS. Well, I don't know if they can. Well, Zillow's not a brokerage, right? So they can't. They get access.
I think they're just a tech platform, but I think they have a partnership with the MLSs, and
Right.
I think the MLSs get paid from Zillow, and I think that's the reason why the partnership is still going.
So I just had a thought. I mean, do you really think these MLSs are going to be willing to partner with Landian, knowing that this is the guy that caused all of this? You know, like,
I'm like,
we're good. We don't have to partner up with you. Let people put the address in, let them figure it out for themselves, and then create your little AI generated like listing there. I mean, my God.
Putting the dollar sign in, $1 for the taxes.
Putting $1 for
that's
taxes.
going to be the killer.
Now look, in that town where that house is, yeah, the taxes are low, but $1, no. Oh my gosh, yeah, they gotta. Yeah, Josh, you got to update that website a little bit. You got to do a better job with that. Sorry. I can't. I know I can't. I'm bad. Yeah, I'm going to shut up. I have no filter. Yeah. So we shall see how this all happens, like how this all rolls out with this. Oh, another question. I'm aware of home sales where there was a finder fee and they have taken a flat fee. Do you think the market will drive realtors to accept the same fee structure? It's possible. And I've said this, it could go to a flat fee platform. I don't know. Like I said, the next year is going to be very telling to see how this all shakes out. There's so many things in play right now. Anything could happen. And the sad part is it's sad for the buyers, right? Because as soon as this came out, my buyers were like, what does this mean? And said, well, as long as if we're seeing houses that are, or the seller is going to be offering compensation, it's a non-issue. But if they don't offer it, we're just going to have to write it in the offer and ask for them to pay for it.
Yeah.
But the sellers also need to understand too that it's not, so if you're offering zero compensation, I just watched a TikTok video about this. It's very interesting where they did like this whole scenario where the seller was offering, the agent was saying, oh, the seller's offering zero compensation to the buyer agent. And then the buyer agent said, okay, well, I'm not going to show the house then. And then the listing agent was accusing the buyer agent of steering. And he says, no, that's not steering because my buyers don't have the money to pay the commission.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the next house. So people need to understand that too. They're going to start thinking, oh, now you're steering because you're not getting paid. No, this is between the buyer and the seller, right? So if they have to pay the commission that you're not offering it, it has to come out of pocket. They're going to pass on seeing your house. But
and if they're having a conversation, if the buyer agent is telling, like you said, if they're telling their buyer like, hey, they're not offering this, then that buyer has a choice to be like, I don't want to see it. So it's not, like you said, it's not steering. If the buyer says, well, if they're not going to pay your fee, then I'm going to go somewhere else where they'll pay your fee so you can get paid.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to show them, but again, if we write it in the offer. If you want the house that bad, then we just write it in the offer and see what happens. Otherwise, we'll figure something out. JP says, what's the best way to buy and sell a home at the same time? I'm feeling anxious. I won't find the home I want and will lose my home. Okay, here's my recommendation. If you can sell the house first, because we're still in tight inventory, and then either rent something, go find a rental temporarily and put that money, your proceeds, in the bank. So then when you find the next place, you're ready to go. You're not tied to the sale. Like buying a house would not be contingent on you selling yours. You want to be in a good position where you can walk up to a house and say, you know what, I can buy this. I'm have to I sold my house. I'm renting. I'm flexible. All the things. That's the best way to do it. I know it's moving twice. People don't like doing that. Or you can list your home. You have your listing agent put on MLS saying that the sale is contingent on you finding a home. Okay. And you can also ask for like an extended closing, like up to like 90 days or 120 days, whatever. You can ask for that. So there are ways around it. If you talk to an agent that's familiar with that process, I highly recommend doing that. But the best scenario, again, it's moving twice. I know it's annoying, but just sell the house, be done with it, and go rent somewhere for a while. I mean, Clark, what do you say?
I agree. I think you should sell the house first, because if you go into a contingency deal, because I've had that happen to me before when I was helping a seller, we did contingency upon somebody else selling their house, and in turn, me as a realtor, I put in place for my seller a kickout clause. So basically, just stating that if another buyer, we're going to keep the house active on the MLS with your offer until your house goes binding under contract. Then we'll put it in the pending status. If we get an offer prior to that, we're giving you 72 hours to either take the contingency off the offer per se, and just go straight forward, or put you in a second position where you could be a backup offer to the new offer that we have. So I agree with you, because some realtors are going to put in place for their seller, because we don't want the house to just sit there on the selling side either, where we don't know when you're going to close, because you can 3 months out and still not have an offer on your house, and now you're tying up the seller who might want to move a little quicker in the process.
Right.
So,
That's right.
But I agree with what you said, Jackie, like sell the house first before buying.
Sell the house. Yeah, sell it. Sell it. Listen, the next time I go through this, God willing, I hope it's not for a while yet, but that's what I would do. If we're in this scenario where there's not much in the market, like I would just, dump it, rent, and then we'll find the house. This way you can breathe a little bit. You don't have that pressure, because God forbid your buyer backs out and you're under contract to buy another house and you got the deposit in and all the things. No. And then also, in this market, if we're going to be back to you have a lot of competition and bidding wars again, and you're losing out on houses. Oh my gosh. No, thank you. And listen, I've navigated this for clients. I've done it. It's not easy. And I think the best way to go about, like I said, sell it and go rent something. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So that's it. So Clark, this has been awesome.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm very proud of myself. I was well behaved. I didn't really bash this guy too much. Anyway, if anybody is looking to move to the Atlanta area, please check out Clark's YouTube channel. He's got some excellent content here. Really good stuff here, Clark.
Oh, thank
you. Yeah. Awesome. So definitely check out his channel if you would like to move to Atlanta. And we have one more question. How does a broker deal with a higher offer from a less qualified purchaser? How does a broker deal with a higher offer from a less qualified purchaser? So are you talking about are they like an FHA loan, or I'm not sure what they're asking. Do you understand that, Clark?
Are they saying that they put a offer in higher than what the purchase price was?
But it's saying from a less qualified purchaser. So a less qualified buyer. So meaning
maybe FHA.
There's like an FHA loan or something like that. We look at all offers, no matter who. Yeah. I mean, all offers are considered. It's up to the seller. The seller decides.
Exactly.
It's not up to us. We can't decide that. So thank you, David. So good to see you, David. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate you being here. So as always, you guys need a reference. You need a referral to an agent in your market. Please click the link down below in the description box. Fill out the form. I will get back to you within a couple days and get you connected to an agent in your area. Clark, This was awesome. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Come back again. I know we'll see you next week on the comments in the chat. So. All right. This is awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. See you all next week. Have a good week.